All right, welcome. This is week 30 of Homework Solution for IM2. Here we have Thursday, February the 27th. Here it asks us to find the x-intercepts for these functions. A couple of things for you to understand when it comes to finding the x-intercept. The x-intercept is on the graph when y is equal to 0. You could find the x-intercept, okay? That's the idea. So, how does it work here? This means that this problem, this is when this is equal to 0. Okay. When can this be equal to 0? Okay. It is equal to 0 when this, which is x plus 3, is equal to 0. And when this, right, the first term, first expression equals to 0, or the second term is equal to 0. So, when is this equal to 0? Subtract 3, x equals to negative 3. Here, add 3, x equals to what? 3. So, your x-intercepts are at x equals to negative 3 and x is equal to 3. This means when you graph this, okay, the x-intercepts are at what point? Negative 3, 0, and 3, comma 0. Let's see if that's correct. All right, so let's put that up in decimals. So x plus 3, x minus 3. Perfect. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's see if we are correct. All right, are we right? Yep, look. Negative 3, comma 0, and 3, comma 0 is the x-intercept for this function, which is said right there. Good. So we're going to repeat that idea over here. The x-intercept is when, right, x-intercept is when y equals to 0. So this is going to be equal to 0 for this. When does that happen? When does that happen? That is when x plus 1 is equal to 0. And that is when x minus 3 is equal to 0. Alright, so here, right, let's do some algebra. Minus 1, x is equal to negative 1, plus 3, x is equal to 3. So we would say your x-intercepts are at when x is equal to negative 1 and when your x is equal to 3. When graphed, the points are at x is or at these points. Okay, x is negative 1. We know that y becomes 0. And x is 3, y is equal to 0. Let's see if that is correct. Alright, so x plus 1 minus 3. Okay, are we right? Negative 1, comma 0. Perfect. And the other one was 3, comma 0. That is correct. Okay. We want to find when the x-intercept is when y equals to 0. So this becomes 0. Equals to 3, parentheses, x plus 3, close the parentheses, x plus 6. When, okay, x when 3 is equal to 0, when x plus 3 equals to 0, and when x plus 6 equals to 0. That is the case when this just becomes 0, minus 3, so x is equal to negative 3, minus 6, x is equal to negative 6. So we could say the x-intercept is when x is equal to negative 3 and x is equal to negative 6. So when graphed, the points are, there are 2 points, negative 3 comma 0, and wait, this is also 0 when x also equals to 0 here. So there are a couple points. So negative 3 comma 0, negative 6 comma 0, and there's also 0 comma 0 because of that 3 here. Okay, I'm going to show you what that, wait, I think that's right. Hold on, wait. No. There's no, there's no x here. Bad, Mr. S. There's no x here, so, right. If there was an x here, then it would be equal to 0. But 3 never is equal to 0, so this goes away. Okay, so these are your only 2 points. Right, so let's do that. 3 plus 3 plus x plus 6. Let's see, we're right. The first one is at negative 3 comma 0. So watch this. Negative 3 comma 0. And the other one was negative 6 comma 0. So let's zoom it out. Oh, are we right? Yep, look. Negative 3 comma 0. Negative 3 comma 0. And negative 6 comma 0. There you go. We were right. Okay. Let's look at number 4. All right. So again, I'm going to do that. I'm going to repeat myself again because I'm going to have you memorize it. The x-intercept is when y equals to 0. So in this case, this becomes 0. Equals 2 parentheses x minus 5, close the parentheses, x minus 1. This is when x, 2 equals to 0, x minus 5 equals to 0, and x minus 1 equals to 0. This is the case where it just becomes 0. Add 5, we have x equals to 5. Plus 1, x equals to 1. So we would say here the x-intercept are located at x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 1. So when graphed, the points, these are now points, are at 5 comma 0 because again y is 0, x is 5 here, and 1 comma 0. Okay, let's see if we are right. 2x minus 5 and x what? Minus 1. Okay, let's see if we are right. Oop, did we get it? 1 comma 0. Do we have 1 comma 0? Yep, 1 comma 0 is right there. And 5 comma 0. 5 comma 0. Good. 1 comma 0, 5 comma 0. 2 points. Good. Alright, so let's do the bottom ones. Okay. Ooh, tricky question. Okay. Okay. So, again, this is when y equals to 0. Okay. Alright, when y equals to 0. I just didn't write it, did I? Yeah, I just forgot to write it. Okay. This is when y equals to 0. So, again, this is when y equals to 0. So, you know what? Rather than copy it, I can just write here x this one. Okay. So it was, I didn't copy it down correctly, but it should be 0, 0 is equal to negative x, x plus 6. Okay. So this is when, whoop, zoom out. When x, whoop, when negative x is equal to 0. So again, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, x is equal to 0. So x plus 6 is equal to 0. So minus 6 minus 6, x is equal to negative 6. Right? So the intercepts are at x equals to 0 and x is equal to negative 6. So the points are 0, comma 0 and negative 6, comma 0. You don't believe me? Take a look. Negative x, x plus 6. Um, Zoom out. Yeah. Should be at 100%. Okay. So, zoom in. Okay, look. Negative 6, comma 0 and 0, comma 0. Okay. Same thing here. Not going to do anything different. Negative 4x, x plus 7. So this is when negative 4x is equal to 0. And that's x plus 7 equals to 0. So again, divide by negative 4x. Sorry, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, x equals to 0. Subtract 7, x equals to negative 7. So the intercepts are at x equals to 0 and x equals to negative 7. The points are 0, comma 0 and negative 7, comma 0. Okay. Let's see if I'm right or am I making things up, or let me just check my answers. Okay. So this becomes negative 4x, x plus 7. Let's see if I'm right. M is 0, 0, 0. Good. That's one of them. And the other one is at negative 7, 0. Am I right? Yep, negative 7, 0. Good. I'm correct. Those are the y-intercepts. Sorry, x-intercepts for the equation. Okay. Let's look at 7 and 8 now. Minus 3 squared. So this is when negative 2 is equal to 0. So, and x minus 3. Uh, but there's two of them. So this is x minus 3 and x minus 3. This is when x minus 3 equals to 0. So that is what? X equals to 3. This means also x equals to 3. We'll see what happens. This is interesting. We'll see what happens here. Well, this is plus 0. So we sort of know the vertex here. We know the vertex here, if you really think about it in vertex form, is what? 3, comma 0. That's interesting. Okay, so, right, because this is in the format of vertex form. X minus h squared plus k. Remember? Interesting. So we'll see what happens. So the x-intercepts are at x equals to 3 and x equals to 3. So the points are at 3, comma 0 and 3, comma 0. Okay? Let's see if you're right. I already know why, because it's probably just a vertex. X minus 3 squared. So do you see here? The x-intercept is 3, comma 0. Because there's technically 2 points. The one that's going up to it and the one going down. But x equals to negative 3. Okay? There you go. Okay? Same thing here. Okay? This is, you could really cheat this question by just looking at it. It's the vertex. The vertex here is 7 comma 0. Okay, so again, I'm going to do it the long way. So the x-intercept is when y equals to 0. So set that equal to y equals to 0. Okay, this is when 2 is equal to 0, x minus 7 equals to 0, and x minus 7 equals to 0. I do this twice because of the squared. So this becomes 0. This is plus 7 plus 7. X is equal to 7 plus 7 plus 7. This means x equals to 7. Alright? So your x-intercepts are at x equals to 7 and x is equal to 7. The points are at 7 comma 0 and 7 comma 0. So again, let's plug that in. Boom, 7 comma 0. And again, there are two of them because technically there's one coming down and one coming up, and it's both hitting those points. Okay, those are all your solutions. All right, for Thursday, February the 27th.